Everybody's favorite part of UEFA Nations League, relegation. And Germany are staring it right in the face in Ligue A's Group 1. France on top of the group, Netherlands with 3 points after their 3-0 defeat of Germany just the other day. That's the first time the Netherlands have defeated Germany since 2002. Also the worst defeat ever for the Germans in that head-to-head matchups. There you see it. It has been a bad run for the Germans going back to the World Cup, even some before that. John, I want to start with you. Do you believe Joachim Low, of all people, Joachim Low could be the first manager we see fired as a result, at least partially, of Nations League results?
Well, they didn't react after the World Cup when many people thought that they would and they should. The fact that they haven't now has left him hanging on in there looking a bit like yesterday's man. I don't think he's been supported by a number of the players whose performances have been a long way short of what we would expect. I mean, what's happened to Thomas Müller, for example, a player who was absolutely at the cutting edge 2, 3, 4 years ago, and now, yeah, he was in the side the other day, but he might as well not have been. So I do think that Jogi Löw is now in an uncomfortable corner. It's not in the nature of German football to go around firing coaches with the national team, in their terms, unnecessarily or quickly or rapidly. But you look at a record of 3 wins in the calendar year, 3 wins in their last 10. That's not German football. So maybe we are getting to the point where action is necessary.
It can't be healthy, though, when a German squad meets up to play France at home in the match day 1, and you've got a coach who selects Leroy Sané at a time when he's not playing for Man City, and deselected him, if that's the correct terminology, at a time when he was playing for Man City ahead of the World Cup, which was a big shock. And then you've got a meeting of the squad and Toni Kroos talking about the attitude of the aforementioned Leroy Sané in public view to the media at a press conference. I mean, that in itself is staggering. That I'm going to turn up there as a young, talented player, and other people are going to talk about my attitude to the world. The whole thing just, football apart, the whole thing just doesn't. And then you've got the Mesut Ozil stuff. It just stinks to me at the moment.
Ale, is this more Joachim Low, or is this more players who aren't as good as we think they are or as they were?
Well, it's a combination of both. You can't have one without the other, but this is when the manager comes in. He just mentioned Thomas Müller. If he's not playing well for Bayern Munich, he's not playing well for Germany, then he doesn't belong in the national team. Maybe he comes off as a sub. Maybe you don't call him for a couple of times. Maybe you give a chance to others. Maybe you rotate. You have to change something from what we saw in the World Cup. And that's exactly the point here, is that what you see now is exactly what you were seeing in the World Cup. The disorganization now, it's what you saw against South Korea. What you see of this team in the mistakes, it's what you saw in the World Cup as well. So you want to see change in order to see evolution, in order to see a step forward. That hasn't happened. And that's why it would be just about the right time. I thought it would be there after the World Cup, but it would be the right time to make a serious decision, a serious change. And that is, Jogi Löw, thanks, but it's time to go.